Youth Rights Campaign has demanded the immediate suspension of the Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun for bullying global human rights organization Amnesty International over its reports on the killing of no fewer than 24 protesters during the August 2024 nationwide Endbadgovernance protest by officers of the Nigerian police force. The RRC, which made the demand in a statement issued by its National Secretary Francis Nwapa on Wednesday, also warned the police to desist from further bullying of Amnesty International over the reports which exposed police misconduct and brutal crackdown on the peaceful protesters. On Tuesday, the police said they wrote to Amnesty International ordering the global human rights organization to retract the reports and tender a public apology to them and the Nigerian government. As far as we are concerned, as a party accused of misconduct and a bloody crackdown, the Nigerian police force has no moral authority whatsoever to adjudge the veracity of the allegations made by Amnesty International in its reports, let alone the audacity to begin to demand public retraction and apology. You cannot kill innocent peaceful protesters and then turn around to begin to threaten those who expose your crime. The group called for the suspension of the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, to allow for an impartial, independent and public probe into the conduct of the police and other security forces during the #Endbadgovernance protest in August. It said, we also call for the setting up of an independent probe panel democratically constituted by the elected representatives of civil society, professional groups like the media, NBA, etc., trade unions and youth organizations to investigate the various allegations against the police and other security agencies, which include the use of excessive force, firing of live bullets, killing of peaceful protesters, torture of detainees, as well as other heinous crimes as contained in the report of Amnesty International, as well as several accounts of protesters and society groups. If we recall a background check a little bit, Amnesty International, this was around November, if I'm not mistaken, wrote against the Endbadgovernance protest that the police brutalized the protesters, and they called for the federal government to actually hold the police force accountable for firing, firing bullets at the protesters, because according to the story, the protesters said they had a peaceful protest, but the police came out and said they vandalized properties. They were not peaceful. That was why they released tear gas on them. And then Amnesty, said a lot of things and actually wrote against them and called that they be, put a stop. That the police force should be, handled over the brutality that they puts on the lives of individuals, especially the Endbadgovernance protesters, because they were protesting for their rights, the hardship and whatnot that's been going on in the country. And it's just been going on. 2 days ago, the Nigerian police force came up again and asked the Amnesty International to make a public apology for those statements that were made. There were a lot of statements that were made. Because of time, I cannot mention all of them, but they called the Nigerian police a bloody organization and whatnot. Well, we're not write the word to you, but I'm just trying to make a background check so you understand the allegations and all of that. I'd love to get your thoughts concerning this. I'm sure you're aware about the Endbadgovernance protest that went on, how they were arrested, tried, and eventually allegedly got released. And then we saw pictures of grown-up people that were offered new clothing and phones and 100,000 naira, if I'm not mistaken, in order for them to release them, when Nigerians had to come up to speak against their malnutrition or dehumanization that was rendered on them. But when we saw a situation at the courts where two or more of them slumped and passed out over starvation and whatnot, and Amnesty and the Nigerian police force have actually been going head on over this situation, and the Nigerian youth has come up to a group has come up to demand that Egbetokun get suspended for intimidating Amnesty over the statements that were made. But I'd love to get your thoughts concerning this. What do you have to say?
Well, the point is, Egbetokun has become Mr. Bad Guy, and given the nature of policing, not all the times can you call police people good guys.
Okay.
I was watching the Senate, the U.S. Senate, when they were grilling Senator Rubio, and there were protesters who broke into the chamber. The policemen were in defense of human rights, very nice guys. They just took them out. Even the camera, they tried not to show you, but you could see policemen grabbing protesters and shoving them off.
Did they shoot at anybody with tear gas released?
If tear gas exists, everybody, including senators, all would choke now.
Okay.
But the point I'm making, I just want you to see the point I'm making.
Okay.
That the same standards that we aim at, the same institutions that have pointed the direction of, say, protection of human rights, defense of protests, are also guided by circumstances in their own environment to shut down protests, particularly if those protests are violent. In this country, there's always been this is not a defense of the police, but can we afford to have anarchy because a number of persons are unhappy? What is the cause of anarchy to the rest of us if we were to just sit by and watch a group of people claim they have all the rights, including international support, to destabilize Nigeria? My opinion on this will not be popular. And I'm not saying this so that I could be popular. But I'm saying that if we have protests or demonstrations, as we like to call them, then the organizers must take charge and make sure that infiltrators don't get into their ranks and confuse the situation. In this country, I know that there have always been demands by the police. If you are demonstrating, we will be willing to accompany you, to protect you. The aim, sometimes, make sure that these infiltrators don't get in.
Okay.
Now, you say we are suffering from bad governance. I may not disagree. And you say that because of bad governance, infrastructure, which should be provided, are not be provided. Then the one that is provided, the little one that is provided, you destroy it. Then what? Tell me, I want to understand that agenda that says we don't have enough. And then the ones that we don't have, or that we've managed to provide, you destroy. Because that is the ground upon which the police has acted.
And secondly, they made mention of the protesters releasing a foreign flag. That was another reason why.
All right, and
they
some people,
them.
some smart Alex try to make it look like they thought that that's a flag that's by the president that looks like that. And so is there a relationship between that flag behind the president and a Russian flag? And then you use, if you like, some people give those flags to minors. Did the minors produce the flag?
So minors are actually protesting.
So why? And at the time, if you look across the border, Russia had taken control of Burkina Faso, taking control of Niger, and then you are waving. What are you saying? Were you not calling for a takeover of government? Possibly by friends of the Russians who are now military men. What are you saying? And then you say the people should just clap for you. So it's strange. But that's our society. I will not defend police brutality.
Okay.
I will not refuse the right of Nigerians to protest. But the right of those who are also not protesting, whose lives have been endangered, should be protected. That's my conclusion.